Content warning. Following show contains host that smokes like a Victorian train going through a tunnel. Sometimes accidental use of potty mouth, discussions of fictitious violence, and other subjects that might make people feel attacked. But I promise you're not being attacked. Discretion advised. See, we said something that yeah, no, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. So, that's the whole thing. I'm not gonna give you any crap for what you talked about. Oh, this time. All right. Well, let's do. All right. Let's start this show. Let's kick this pig. No, I like pig. Hey guys, what is going on? This is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, and I am back. That's right. I am done being the Easter Bunny. That's right. No more big furry suits. I dance around like children run full speed at my crotch. Hey, first. Oh my god, I was headbutted and stomped on by him past month. And you know why? Because I gotta keep the lights on for y'all. That's right. I'm keeping the lights on for y'all. But welcome to the dark side of the room. Now, this is the show where we are going to be talking about game stuff, culture, a lot of different things that I guess you could say lead from our hobbies into our lives. Truth, it's pretty hardcore, right? So, with me today, because I'm not here by myself. No, I'm here by myself. Hey, with me, all the way from the lands of happy singers and other nerd people. That's right. We're talking a great entertainer, a legend in her own mind. The woman, the myth, the legend, and my good friend for whom I have years, Miss Heather Johnson. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be back with you, Solar, and thank you, of course, for all your viewership, folks. And well, what are we getting into today?
Oh man, we are getting into some deep stuff. You know, it's funny with my last job, right? I ended up in a very interesting spot. And when I say interesting spot, I mean when you are doing costume, right? And I'm talking serious costume. I am talking, hey, what is up? Oh, the music is louder than us? Well, guess what? How's that? Huh? That's better. All right. Yeah, so when you're doing some serious costume, right? Being in like a full body walk around. Oh, what's up? Thank you very much, Neon Arlecchino, for yet another month in subscribing. 16 months straight. You were on a streak, my friend. So real talk. We're in. We're in a full body walk around. Talking like a full body walk around suit. One of the rules is clowning, which is costume or the makeup on, no longer speak. So in the slow times, I'm sitting in a suit. My whole head is covered. And I have kind of a bane thing going. So I can't actually like say what I need or any of that stuff. Dancing. But in the times that I'm sweating so much that it's getting in my eyes and causing pain, I have a lot of time. And I think about a lot of stuff. I think about a whole lot of stuff. I look around, I'm like, what am I thinking about? What am I thinking? And this suit made me feel so much. So much. Oh. Thank you, Sofa King Super, the king of living room furniture. That's right. 15 months, man. You guys have been holding it down. I really appreciate it. You know, the suit made me feel like Batman, but not just any Batman. I'm talking Michael Keaton's Batman. Okay, seriously. I really felt like Michael Keaton. Feel free to ask me why.
Why?
Because I'm in the mall. There are 3 stories in this mall, and sure enough, kids all over the place. Eat the bunny, and I'm like, hi, hey, what's up? That's right. Neon Arlecchino knows where I'm going, because as soon as someone on the 2nd or 3rd floor had to say hi to these, I couldn't just be like, hey kid. No, couldn't do that. I had to be like, and then the Danny Elfman music would start playing, like Easter Bunny, I'm the bunny, that kind of thing up there. But yeah, I mean, seriously, I came this close to be like, come on, give me your baby. But yeah, it's so the thing is over. Easter for everybody, and I'm so glad that I'm no longer a 6'4" biker that middle class parents walk up and say, take my baby, because it's a weird dichotomy for me, because when they see me walking down the street normally, they grab their kids closer and hold on to their purse. But
no, little Timmy, don't look.
Yeah, exactly. No shit. But put me in a furry suit. I'm talking a full body walk around with a giant rabbit head that literally makes me a 7.5-foot rabbit. Doing funny dances like I'm John Travolta in freaking Pulp Fiction. And they're like, here, take my baby. And I'm like, oh, well, that's bizarre. Okay. And when I say bizarre, I'm like, yeah, there we go. So yeah, and I mean, real talk. So let me give you guys a real quick moment of zen while we are at this, because when I say dancing around like John Travolta, I mean just that. Do 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 do. That's right, that's me in the suit. What you can't see is that the top of those ears are about 8 feet in the air, okay? That's definitely me. This is what I do. All those years of studying Shakespeare and acting and doing pantomime and all of those things. And yeah, all of that training, all of those years. And what do I, where does it land me? Yeah.
In the Easter Bunny suit.
Yes,
Woo!
It lands me at the mall. That's it. That right there, that's your reward. That is what a degree in film and theater will get you, right there. That's right. So yeah, we got Neon over here. You're terrible. You're just so terrible. Like seriously. Let's see. Did they require to have the child return to their souls? I do not collect children's souls. All right. If anything, I try and bolster them. Whispering in children's ears. Don't forget what you already know because you are mad. That kind of thing. And yeah, but that was me. What people don't know that those costumes really seal in the flavor. Really seal it in. I mean, it's sorcerer.
My favorite.
Like everything that's reputed about gamers. Like seriously. Um, and what people don't know is that while I was in that suit, I was actually wearing like full body spandex to wick away the sweat because I didn't want, like, I knew the BO was going to be getting in there regardless of I mean, I had on my deodorant and I used Degree, and that stuff is pretty. And I sprayed everything down with Febreze and disinfectant every single day because as much as I love children, I also know them. And this is a shout out to you teachers out there. We know that children are petri dishes. That's what they are. They're just walking petri dishes full of viruses, bugs, not. And the interesting thing about the job for me though, are it did not take away my love of children. Really didn't. I still adore children. Love kids. And we had a great day where there's a little parkour studio in the thing that parents come and drop off their kids. And I went down there as the Easter Bunny, and they were like, Easter Bunny, yeah! And I got mobbed by kids, and I'm doing the rock star high five, you know, how like when you're at a concert and the lead singer goes to the edge of the stage and just starts high fiving people, and you know, I'm totally hair banding it up. Because I love kids. You know what I really hate though?
What is it?
Parents. Oh my god, these parents.
Because they don't spend their money on your products, or because they don't treat their children right? Which one is it, or is it some other reason?
It's the expectation there. You don't take an 18-month-old, hand it to an 8-foot fur-covered, giant-eyed monster, and tell it to smile. Or sorry, hand it to an 8-foot, dead-eyed, unnatural-looking monster. With no changing of facial expression. Walk away from the 18-month-old, like totally out of its line of sight. You know, this thing with no object permanence sees the thing that smells like mommy, hand it over to this giant furry thing that looks like the mascot for Prince and the Revolution.
Oh man. Oh man.
You know, leave line of sight. So mommy has now disappeared. And then they hear mommy's voice saying, smile, smile. Those kids had the best WTF looks I have ever seen in my life. You know,
what on earth is this? Oh my god.
Seriously. You know, I mean, these kids, I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of these kids are practicing some of the best boundaries I have seen in my life, and I am all in for it. I am all in. Because, like, some of the kids were like, oh, bunny, bunny, bunny. But then when they got up on me and saw that I have no choice but to loom because I'm 5 feet bigger than they are, 5 feet. Okay, that's a pool depth.
It's not the low end, but you get into the deep end part of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
5 feet.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, these kids are like, oh look, buddy, but no, nah,
I'm not doing this.
Seriously, man. I swear I
Mom,
almost heard
here?
I almost heard a 2-year-old look up at his dad going, nah, son, I'm done. I'm out. Yeah, so of course, super sweating, super dehydrated. I'm in this thing for 4 hours. So I ended up getting sick. That was why there was no shows on Monday or Tuesday, because I was literally in bed going, gotta do a transmission, gotta be there for the and then I thought about what the show would look like, and then I'm just like, yeah, guess what? Hey everybody. I don't think you guys would watch. Actually, all right, I know Neon Arlecchino would watch that for about an hour. Because you're evil. But yeah, but I don't think anybody else would tune it. But who knows? You know, this is the internet. If I just if I would have started to titled it, um, "Angry Man Coughs for 90 Minutes Straight," I think I would have.
Wait, why do you have to be angry?
Huh? Again, this is the internet. It's got to be you're wrong about this, angry person, or head cold owns big black dude. That's what makes it go. Like, that's the SEO manipulation. Oh, well, thank you, Call of Fortnite. Honestly, it's not that I didn't feel good. It's that, you know that old prank where you fill up a bag full of dog poo and you set it on fire? Put it on someone's, you put it on someone's porch and you set it on fire and you run away and they go, "What is that smoke?" And they run to the door and they go, "Oh, there's a fire." And they step on it and then and then dog poop goes flying everywhere and it's all on fire. You remember that old prank?
Yeah, I remember that old prank.
Yeah.
I remember I wanted to modify it a little bit.
Yeah, well, guess what? I felt like the contents of that bag.
Ooh.
I literally...
A flaming bag of crap.
A stepped on flaming bag.
Oh!
A stepped on splattered. I was just not good. Yeah. Yeah.
That's where the key difference is, because if you're a flaming bag of crap, you know, that's bad. But if you're a flaming squash.
Yeah, that's our normal episode of Dark Side of the Room. You know?
I think you can get those sell at the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Art Theater, but if they're still in business.
Yeah, no, real talk. It's just, that was me. Just big. I was just like, yeah, nope. I'm looking like I could climb the stairs to the Wizard's Tower and do the results, but I also saw the 20-minute crawl it was going to take from my bed to my bathroom, and I was thankful for the dehydration. So yeah, but yeah, that was the whole thing. And also it was the 2-year anniversary of my mother. So also feeling like a bag of poop that had been stepped on. Sitting up going, "Oh my God, now I'm here." And, "Hey Mom, talking to your ashes. And my sister moved in. So it's both of us here. We're taking care of the house and getting my life together. You know, love you. Mish, hang on." Oh God, pain. I would cry, but it hurts. So yeah. So that's, but we're back now. You're back. I've got my coffee. I've got my smokes. Yes, I smoke when I'm sick. I am filled to capacity with liquid IV for hydration purposes. And I no longer have to take the cold medicine. But I got to thinking about a lot of stuff, and I saw a video that came out from a dude that keeps popping up on my YouTube feed, and it is so annoying because I never watched any of his videos intentionally. I fall asleep to YouTube videos every night, okay? Because I can't sleep in silence. And this is important because what I wake up to is whatever the algorithm threw out. So I've had some interesting times. I would go to sleep looking at a documentary on the economy and wake up to Alex Jones screaming about how they're putting stuff in the water to make the frogs learn Microsoft. It was interesting.
What?
Yeah.
What QAnon organization sent you this stuff through the algorithm?
Bro, I have gone deep. I have been.
Next, you'll be talking about you're woke, and I'm gonna have to leave the show.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, because there is nothing like being told that I'm woke by an angry dude yelling from my TV about how woke I am, which actually wakes me up. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's like, I mean, seriously, it literally is like, get woke, go broke. I'm like, I'm trying to stay asleep right now, okay? It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
The struggle is real.
Like, don't talk to me. You woke me up to yell at me for being woke. I don't listen to you. So, yeah. So, but like that, that stuff I actually got out of my, which is good. but I wake up to a lot of role players, a lot of 40k lore. This guy is on, and he's one of these tournament players that I'm not a big fan of because I don't like tournaments. Okay. Um, so, but his thing came up, and if you guys don't know, Adepticon just passed. It was 2 weeks ago. And Adepticon is the San Diego Comic-Con for miniatures game. Okay? And that's pretty big. Like it really is the San Diego Comic-Con. It's the people fly out from all over the world. And Games Workshop has their Golden Demon painting competition. Now what this is, and this is also for you. What Golden Demon is a miniatures painting competition created by and judged by Games Workshop. Oh, Roland, you went. Oh man, I would have gone because it's right outside of Chicago. Except I'm in Los Angeles and I don't have plane fare, and I had more important and more pressing things to be doing with my time other than going to Adepticon. Things that are super, super creative and all right, fine, yeah, I was dancing around in a bunny suit. That's what I was doing, all right, yeah, so that's what I was doing instead of Adepticon. So, but yeah, every year at Adepticon, we did a couple of things, and we'll talk about that. I've been keeping up on it, but I haven't actually wanted to say anything. Got more. Okay. Oh, sweet, Roland, parent advisor to the local D&D club. That is amazing. And so what the Golden Demon competition is, right, is it's when the best of the best painters submit their stuff judged by Games Workshop folks. Here we have the Slayer sword winner of some year, and this was the best. This guy's the best of 20, and this guy, yeah, open category, the Golden Demon winner. There's just a lot of good stuff, right? Let's see. Yeah, the James. Oh, they disqualified, and so honestly, this is big. Now, we can talk, and we're going to be talking this about how outside influence hurt you a whole lot of. They really are great. They really are. They really are great, Call of Fortnite, because these are the best in the world. Okay. And however, they're the best in the world at painting Games Workshop style with Games Workshop materials most of the time. And they're painting Games Workshop models. So it's kind of like the Academy Awards in the sense of the Academy of Film and Television is essentially a bunch of people on the inside saying these other people on the inside did stuff that we like, but that becomes the new standard. Okay, you with me so far, Heather?
Yes, I am.
All right.
So, okay, well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You want to say something? Speak your mind, girl.
Yeah. So the thing I took away from the Golden Demon Award video that you sent me earlier to, do my thing with, was there was no consistency or transparency with the rules, and nothing really changed when they changed the rules around, and they didn't even tell these folks that they were changing the rules. So
yeah,
it made for a bad, it made for a bad competition. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get to that. Because Golden Demon is something that's been going on since. It's been Games Workshop's big. But what we have with the rise of social media, the rise of the internet, are a bunch of people who are qualified to place in Golden Demon in any given year with their Instagram stuff. We've got Instagram artists, we've got YouTube artists, we've got all these amazing people who are amazing at what they do. Also being humble. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Y'all know. But it's not that they're being humble. It's their standard is set to what they believe the standard of Golden Demon, the best of the best of the best of the best in the world is. And Magic Crafts or Bill from Wylock all these people say they're not that good. And I'm like, you guys are way better than I actually want to be. Like, your stance of not good is far beyond celestial. And it makes me feel like a rich person telling me they're broke. You know, I think we all have that one friend that's in another tax bracket that doesn't quite understand. However, what this guy talked about was him feeling something that I know I've personally felt in a lot of areas, not just miniatures, talking creativity all the way across the board. I don't care if any miniature painting, songwriting, musicianship, creative writing, running a role-playing game, sculpt, anything that you would create, the judging, okay? And when I say judge, I mean critique, all right? The critique habits of a lot of these judges, I'm going to go as far as to say infected. Yeah, I said it. Infected our standards of interacting that we like. Okay. Now, I realize I'm kind of having a Tucker Carlson tone. Okay. But just follow me on this. All right. One of the things the guy pointed out was there are so many good and amazing artists, and a lot of people come very far. But a lot of these, I know this myself, Twitch streamer and a YouTuber, no one ever comments on how far you've come. They only comment on how far you have to go. They don't say, wow, you started your channel with an iPhone and a microphone. Rock band. Dude, now you're with a 4K camera and you're doing all this stuff with editing stuff. You've come a long way. They say, your sound is off. Your mic is off. Or, I've been playing bass on and off for decades. And, and they say, well, they're no Victor Wooten. And I want to bring that out, because I know a lot of songwriters, and sorry to tell you, I'm about to date myself really quickly. Ready? I like 90s rock music. The song No Rain from Blind Melon just hit me in my head, and I really like that song. Now, that song is not complex. It's not a big, hardcore song. Yeah, seriously, I really do. I love the song No Rain. I think it's a great song. I think it's a fun song. Whenever I get a guitar in my hand, my friends are like, oh my God, he's gonna do it. And all they hear me doing is ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. I can play the whole song, but I only play that part. Which, can be kind of annoying. But No Rain is not the same quality as anything by Tool. Or anything.
Those are two separate entities within themselves. I'm sorry. Why did you bring up that comparison?
Because it goes along with the show. Telling someone who just bought their first paint or sat down to their first music lesson that Golden Demon is the bare minimum they have to be in order for someone not to tell them that it sucks is horrible. Really horrible. But here's the thing, and this is something that just blows my mind. This is a behavior that every creative person has, and as much harm as it causes, psychologically and emotionally, it's not something that's done out of malice. And this is something that really blows. Okay? There's no malice in someone saying, oh, dude, you forgot to scrape off the mold lines. Or, oh, this was 3D printed, However, I was talking with our good friend Justin about it. A lot of people do it, and they take a look at something, and the first thing they do is they judge it. And hang on. I never imagined that I'd be give it. Wait, what? What? Yeah, that's bold, Roland. Hang on. Oh, you felt old. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, you turned on oldies. Yes, you broken clocks and all that. Okay, yeah, you turned on the oldie station and Gin and Juice came on. Bruh, I feel ya. The oldie station that I grew up listening to was playing the Beatles and Elvis, and I turned on that station, hoping to hear something from Hard Day's Night, and I heard Welcome to the Jungle from Gun. And I'm like, that can't be an oldie. I bought that album.
It really can't. It really just can't. I'm sorry, but I feel like they're trying to date us here by making these songs oldies, and that's not cool. I like me some Guns N' Roses.
Welcome to the Jungle came out in 1987.
That's not that old. I was born in 86. It's not that old. I'm thinking
Heather?
Songs that, well, okay.
Heather,
Yes.
1987. He says, oh, thank you, Call of Fortnite. All right. 1987 was, he says in 2023, 36 years ago. 36 years. The song is old after 5. And this is coming from someone. Yeah, this is coming from someone who's still learning how to play songs off of OK Computer and whose favorite album from the Gorillaz. You know,
The Gorillaz are 20 years old? Wow.
No, they're 26. My favorite album from them is Demon Days.
Well, I officially feel older than dirt, and I'm not even 40 yet.
You're not older than dirt because your mom is still alive. I grew up on my mom's record collection. So it's one of these things where it was like the stuff that she listened to when she was young that I still listen to. Oh my God, yeah. And yes, the N64 is a retro console beyond our like. Right? And the ColecoVision is an archaeological dig. Sorry to tell you, the Apple IIc, there's like 20 left in the world, and 4 of them are in the Smithsonian. You know, I mean, it happens. Time passes. But I wanted to bring this up, okay? Because today's episode is about the way that we look at things, okay? The ubiquity in the habits. Most of the time, this stuff comes down because people don't have malice in they only do what was done to them when they were new. This is a really big thing I had to figure out because my first few jobs when I was a young lad was juggling in front of a burger place in clown makeup and on roller skates, followed by juggling at Venice Beach for people to throw pennies in my bucket, and third was construction. And I noticed out of construction dudes, if something was a bit off or you spilled paint on something, and we're not talking like a cupful or a bucket, we're talking like a couple of errant drops, then they would say the project looked like shit. You know, 1 or 2 things makes the entire thing look like a big pile of excrement. This level of perfectionism, right? And this manifests. This manifests itself by looking for flaws in something and only being happy, in theory, when you can't find the flaw. But this comes across what I call an egocentric problem where people don't like being incorrect. You know,
a lot of people don't like being incorrect, so I can see that. I said a lot of people don't like being incorrect, so I can see that.
So it doesn't come down to I'm hating on this person. It's I'm looking for a flaw, but I can't find a flaw. But I picked it up knowing that there was a flaw. So I will find a flaw, you know, and it all of a sudden becomes about them.
this is one of the reasons that I don't really take out a lot of my work in public or show my stuff to my friends. I just pull out my stuff and I play with it. Now I do a lot of creation, and a lot of people think I'm a bit of a jerk. And I'll own that. I will own that because like the real talk on that is I will be say at a game store, and I'll pull out something I 3D printed. And in truth, that's a trap question, Roland. I'm not gonna answer it. Neon, you can take that one. And someone will look at something that I made, and instead of going, dude, this is awesome, they'll go, 3D printed? And I'm like, why are you asking? Are you asking because you think it's cool, but it would be less cool if it were 3D printed because it wasn't bought from a store? Or are you asking because, okay. All right. That's, if those were both parts of your question, favorite Star Trek medical officer and why is it Julian Bashir? So really, when it came down to it, I don't really show my work because even my closest friends grab my creations and they start looking for flaws, and I see them do it in the stuff that they do for themselves. And I personally come from the opposite school. I come from the school of, dude, this piece that you made today looks 8 times better than the one that you did like 7 months ago. You've come a long way, And a lot of folks are like, I don't know, and I'm looking at this thing you 3D printed. Oh, yep. I see a support line, and I'm like, oh, well, guess what? I see somebody I'm not talking to anymore. I'm sure you've been in a lot of places where people would create something, Heather. Maybe not a miniature or something like that, but make something, a song, play a musical piece, and instead of looking at the whole thing, people would just tear apart what was there. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah, I've had it happen, and it's not really particularly bolstering to confidence. Yeah, that's the main thing I take away from that is like, well, you just took the wind out of my sails, and you don't really have a good reason why other than to just crap all over everything I did.
Yeah, I definitely get that. But I do want to overemphasize that the people that I know and that I've seen do this over years don't do this in malice. There's no malice, and I say that because I'm still friends with a good amount of people that do it. Secondly, big one, they have these standards for themselves, which is cool, I suppose. Except these techniques, what I've seen, and again, this is just me talking. There are no peer-reviewed studies because I don't have the money to have one done. But this is one of the really big habits that's done in society in general that leads to analysis paralysis, discouragement analysis, or a discouragement paralysis. Okay. Very rarely have I ever seen any creator match the intended idea that the creator of said project very rarely ever have. Now I see a lot of people talking about a lot of different we live in being a nerd. There are more games, miniatures, movies, comic books, more everything put out there in such a way like there's just more of it now than there ever has been, and we have more access to more of it than anyone ever had. But it's really easy to go, and this is something I see in miniature manufacturing all the time, not just the ones that I make, but I'm always checking out the new, and people keep saying, well, Games Workshop has the highest quality stuff. And I'm like, could you explain to me what that means? Well, their stuff just looks better. I'm like, how? And I was talking to one of my older artist friends. She has been a makeup entertainment industry for 40 something years. And when I told her about the stuff that people say to each other, this older lady said, screw them, art is relative. And I'm like, thank you, that's what I needed. Because again, this is a professional working artist that says screw what people say, what looks good and what doesn't look, all relative. Now a lot of the times, and you brought this up a bit because of the video concerning the Golden Demon judging thing, is the criteria for success very, very, very secret. Okay. What we see are the results, and if we watch the competitions enough, we're able to take notes, create a spreadsheet, and look for through lines in all the different ways given what the judges tell people, why they say something isn't good. You left a mold line here, your brush technique wasn't this, it wasn't looking like that, it didn't have dynamicism or whatever, every 5 steps. But they never say it must hit these marks. And one of the reasons for that is that since the availability of all these hobbies, just the availability of stuff, creation, has become more so. Standards rise, cultural touchstone. When I first started this channel, you know what I had in mind?
Yeah, what did you have in mind?
I had the old sitcom camera form, the Desilu 3-camera sitcom setup. That's what I was aiming. Okay, so you have like the left shot, the right shot, the wide shot. I was all down for it. And even within that time, the sitcom changed to more the documentary office style with the single camera following, then the cutaways and stuff, the cutaways to the person on the show talking to the camera person. And I'm just kind of going, times have changed. Now, when a lot of people see what I put together, they're like, well, it's not modern, it's not today, it looks old, it looks dated. I'm like, maybe that's what I'm going for. And yeah, it really was. It really is this weird cultural thing where in order to be relevant, it's got to be less. I talked to a painter about a technique that I learned when I first started painting back in school, called dry brushing. And you guys see me do this every time we do a hobby haul. And I found out that was a technique that was really popular in the 90s, but people don't really use it anymore. Now it's about edge highlighting. And I'm like, but the stuff still looks cool. It just doesn't look like all this other stuff is. Roland's like, all I do is dry brush. I dry brush my minis, I dry brush my tanks, I dry brush my kids. I dry brushed my hamburger the other day when I was like making burgers, and I'm like, you know what this needs? This needs some butter. Let me just dry brush that onto the bun. But yeah, and a lot of people, I talked to some modern painters, and they're like, I don't do dry brushing, and I'm like, interesting, why not? Oh well, it's an old technique. And I see a lot of these things come down from listening to a lot of the stuff that's said by painters who are trying to win an award. And so with that, I'm going to say, whenever you guys create, okay, when you want to make something, write a song, paint a mini, or build some terrain, write a story, or come up with a freaking campaign, to run your friends through, whatever it is you're creating, go ahead and do it. I promise you. Ooh, that wasn't great. I promise you, beyond promising, that there's going to be somebody at your table that talks about how somebody else did it better, or they recognize this one plot from one of the metric ton of pop culture that they have ingested over their life. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be an original creation from a brand new person from it. Good. And you don't have to be this Zen master who can create something without using their hands. What's important, and this is one of the reasons why I keep all of our is the same thing I tell you guys every time I bring up learning, which is reach for being 3 inches further along than you were last time. That's it. That's all. You know, if you're a singer and you can't hit that one note, one day you will hit that. But you'll only be able to hit that note for about 1/5 of a second. But if you keep up with it, you'll be able to sustain that note for an entire beat, and then eventually for 4 beats. But if you have this idea that you have to hold and sustain that note perfectly, first time you try it, all you're gonna do is not sing. Let's see. Neon was saying, I remember a player accused of ripping off my first tavern from Skyrim. Of course, they couldn't provide a location for me. Didn't know, ripped it off from Mount Blade. That is great. You ripped this off from Skyrim? I did not rip this off from Skyrim. You were so wrong. I ripped this off from Beowulf. Thank you. I steal from older sources. You know. Oh no, hit me up, Heather. Talk to me. What do you got to say about that?
You know, I've run into this problem before, just not with miniatures or anything gaming related. Usually I'd have this problem when, you know, I was completing a project for school. And the whole thing was, you know, not necessarily how good you did a job of when you were working on something like a science project. I spelled does wrong, and I didn't realize I had. Somebody pointed it out and didn't say anything else about it. So I was left with, do I fix this error at the last minute? I'm here at the science fair. What do I do? I mean, and then there was an incident as well later on, years later, where I was in high school, spelled the word mochi wrong. And I felt that feeling of what do I do all over again. And I just decided to X out one of the O's, and it looked even worse to me. So, you know, people can judge you by your flaws, but then it can preempt you to make more mistakes at that same time. So I think that, you know, if GameWorks were to be a little more transparent with their judging ideas, or what criteria folks need to meet, then it would be less of a problem.
I definitely get what you're saying on that. See, where I'm sitting up with is I don't like that Games Workshop is the standard.
I don't either.
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I take a look, and don't get me wrong, their stuff looks great. It really does. Their stuff looks so good. However, there are so many flavors. Okay. I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I like food. And the other thing I like about food is I like desserts. Now, I have very rarely in my life have come across bad chocolate. Okay. Now, I like Bodega chocolate. I like Godiva chocolate. I like Hershey's chocolate. You know, I like Mars chocolate. Yeah.
Well, here's on a little note. I've heard that when you get the chocolates here, and they're wrapped up and everything. They're not fresh. Like if it's over 7 days from when the chocolate was created, you're eating spoiled chocolate. But that's something I overheard from someone's conversation years ago. I don't know if that is actually true according to chocolatiers, but yeah, if you're eating something that's more than 7 days old, it's not fresh chocolate. And more often than not, we're eating spoiled chocolate when we get it from Rite Aid or 7-Eleven or wherever we go for those sweets.
Okay. We got a comment here from Tanya, or I think that's Tanya, the awesome. I relate to this exactly. Pointing out a mistake, then people make more, often overthink, nervous, they'll totally lose focus and goes downhill. Yeah, you know what? You are so not alone in that. We got Roland here, in the chat going, Cadbury or death. You know what? Chocolate's chocolate, okay? And the chocolate that I'm eating today, spoiled or not, Cadbury or Hershey or Godiva or Bodega, it's chocolate that I didn't have yesterday. All right. And the stuff that we create, the stuff that we paint, the stories that we write, the songs that we, whatever it is that we're creating, it might not be the best. Okay. And I'm saying this not just because of the standard thing. Again, Golden Demon and all that stuff, they created that, but Golden Demon was produced by Games Workshop, and this is the best of the people that use our minis, our paints, and our methods of painting. Okay, but there are.
Well, you see,
yeah,
if they said that specific disclaimer, then the competition will be tons more better.
Well, the thing
is, my God,
what has happened, much like with the Academy Award, is that their paints, their models, their techniques become the ubiquitous standard. Okay? Like, how can I put this? There are hundreds of different ways to paint minis. You know, my favorite technique is the grisaille or slap chop technique, because it's quick. It gets my minis painted, and I can get them on the board, and I can play within a day. And I'm good with that. But there are hundreds of ways. And granted, Games Workshop didn't invent base coat, midtones, highlights, okay? But they were the first ones to put that knowledge out there outside of art school with Rogue Trader and White Dwarf for people that weren't already into historical war games and trains, right? I mean, that's really the thing. However, there are hundreds of different ways. I think I saw it was Dana Howe. Let me see if I can pull this up. She did an entire Space Marine with cross hatching. Okay, that's a technique where you just make little bitty X's all over the thing, and the minis are small enough. Cross hatch Space Marine. Yeah, I mean, like, real talk. There we go. Yeah, this guy right here. If I can pull this up. Oh yeah, look at that. I shall there, and yeah, so this thing here, all right, this is cross hatching. Hey, the whole thing, you know, they did a little bit of base coat, and then they cross hatched they cross hatched everything else. And I'm just kind of going, dude, that is amazing. Okay, like, seriously, that is amazing. And it doesn't look realistic. It's got, I can point out flaws. Really heavy. Help me out, Roland or Neon. What's the
Artilia?
No. Edge highlighting. The edge highlighting here is really thick. Okay, some of the paint's going on kind of chunky. This is not a smooth coat. I can point out flaws all day on this thing. But guess what? This thing looks amazing, okay? That is an awesome look. Yeah, thank you. It is gorgeous. All right. Would it win a Golden Demon? Probably not. Does that matter? No. No, it doesn't matter. This is an amazing looking piece. Okay. And I would love to have that Rainbow Warrior on my table. Yeah, it's a cartoony style. A lot of folks have looked at the stuff that I do and they say, wow, you use a lot of bright colors, but isn't this supposed to be grim dark? And I'm like, they're my toys. I do what I want. I do what I want. I can make my stuff as bright as possible. If I want genetically modified super soldiers wearing gold armor, then I want their stuff to be on bling. And I want my stuff to be so freaking sparkly and gold that rappers want to put them on their teeth. That is how I want to do it. All right. Real talk. I want somebody looking at my minis, especially when I do metallics, going, man, I'm gonna get my grill like that. What's up? Custodies. That's really what I want to do. Who is yeah, right, the Emperor's children are yeah, they're pink. No, what they do is grim dark. How they dress, fabulous. But real talk, there's always going to be somebody. But the biggest thing is, I know a lot of you guys out there, from wherever it is that you're watching as it happens. If you're watching this from the future, I know you got an inner critic. Okay, we all have the inner critic, and my inner critic's voice, the voice of all the people that were trying to squeeze me to make me better, without me asking them, hey, could you help me get better? I know the ones that I ask, how can I get better? I go, this, and this. How can I improve this particular piece? And then they'll tell me. But if they tell me without me asking first, I'm like, I didn't ask you. Didn't nobody ask you a gee darn thing?
Well, the whole thing is the whole thing that is about it is like, consent for you to judge or look or critique anybody's work, because not everybody's looking for that. Some people are looking for an ego stroking, and some folks are just trying to have fun. Some folks are out for something else entirely. So I don't think it's really fair to be like, I think I'm going to offer my opinion up to someone who didn't ask. It's really not fair. It's like imposing your will on them in a way.
Not in a way, girl. That's exactly what it is. And again, most people do this not out of malice, and not because they're looking to someone else feel like a guppy. But a lot of folks learned that way. And within gaming circles, big circles, any circles where it's each one teach one, i.e. the person who's already doing it is teaching the new person. If that person doesn't have a degree in teaching, and they're just going to teach the way that they learned. Okay? And a lot of people learn by somebody standing over them saying, that is crap. You can do it the right way, or you can do it the easy way. Now get up. That's generally how they learn. I was fortunate enough to have teachers who learned how to teach and learned what was effective, to override the voices of my great grandparents. But not everyone has that. That's one of the reasons that we're here. To say, you know what? What you're doing today is probably better than what you were doing. Definitely better than what you were doing 10 years. And don't forget that. Our journey isn't measured steps we've yet measured by not where we think we're supposed to be, and not where we came from. But we can use where we think we're supposed to be. Guide. I often ask the question, people think, is that thought a tool for your improvement or a weapon that you're using against yourself. Because a hammer is a hammer. You can build something with a hammer, or you can hit yourself in the thumb with it. One of them negates the building. I'll let you decide which one that is. Sorry, I had to do yard work before we got the ship. Like, would you mind if we trimmed your hedges? They're blocking they're blocking the sidewalk. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna let you trim my hedges. We will trim my hedges. Thank you for the help in the moment. And I forgot that I'm allergic to grass. Yeah, that means, yeah, exactly. That literally means I came in the house, got the show ready, and I'm like, oh, why am I itching? Oh, wait, I'm allergic to grass. Come on, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Yeah, this is why I'm not a landscaper, and I may just cover everything that resembles lawn with structures when I have. But yeah, so when it comes down to that, a lot of people do have their idea of what good is, or they will do the same, I guess you could say, critiques that they've seen. I call it aping. They'll just start pointing out flaws in your stuff and not tell you what is good because they don't know. You know, I know there was a time that I put my fist through my cabinet door because I got tired of people. And I'm like, okay, how can I convey my points without them feeling them? Tell me how to say stuff. Don't just tell
And let me
me.
guess, they wouldn't have an answer for you?
Hmm?
Let me guess, they didn't have an answer for you?
Of course not. Because most folks chase a feeling. And as I brought up, the past two generations, Generation X included, has failed everyone that came in. We taught people to chase a feeling without giving them directions on how to even process. We don't think about what a realistic expectation. You know, we just go, that makes me uncomfortable, so you need to figure out what makes, like, well, what does make you comfortable? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep telling you how you make me uncomfortable until I stop telling you. And it's like, sorry to tell you, it's not my job to figure you out if you haven't figured yourself out. But that's kind of
Preach. Preach. I said preach, man, preach, because I don't know what these people think we're mind readers.
That's the thing. It's all a reflection of its culture. Not knowing the criteria for success and only finding out the rules when you are being informed or reprimanded or breaking after the fact. There's no there really isn't any pre-knowledge to help folks avoid. All right? So, since we deal with solutions here, all right? Since we deal with real solutions, how can we get past this? And that's really easy. Hang on. Exactly. Yeah. So what do? How do we get to solutions? Well, one of the biggest solutions that I live by, something that all of you guys, is understand what your own standards are. Really deeply, really internally. Okay? And make sure to think about those standards and ask yourself the real hard question. Can I accomplish that standard skill set? If the answer is no, then you really have to ask yourself, then what would I be satisfied with? Okay, because we all have Golden Demon aspirations. Every filmmaker has Academy Award aspirations. Deep down, where the special place is, forever, you know. But what I've learned in all of my decades of making stuff, being creative, is I want to make the best possible version of what I've imagined that I'm capable of now. Okay. I used to be a really good singer. And then I stopped singing and started smoking. And then I kept smoking and continued to not sing. So guess what? I sound horrible when I am in my car and I am driving, and songs that I love that weren't in my range when I first started singing. When that stuff stopped being in my range. I got an unrecognized USB thing. I hope I'm still transmitting. Yeah, when that stuff was first in my assumptions. When I was good, I couldn't do it. So now that I'm no longer good, yeah, dog. Oh man. Okay, yeah. Yeah, dog. Now that I'm no longer good, I don't even start. I don't even start critiquing myself. I literally take a look. Yeah, okay, it was a mic hiccup. Yeah, but something, I guess I'm back. I guess I'm better. Just had a slight moment because Spectrum! Anyway, and now I'm just kind of like, you know what? I like singing this song badly. And if someone hears me while I'm driving and singing, and they're like, dude, you sound terrible, I'll be like, did nobody ask you a gosh darn thing? Because I'm singing at the top of my lungs with all my heart because I like doing it. I'm not on American Idol. I'm not on America's Got Talent. I don't do reality contests like that. When I make a cake, I make a cake. I don't go, I'm gonna do this for the Great British Bake Off. One, because I'm in LA, and that's a long plane flight, and I would love to meet Noel, but I'm sure he's doing a show in America sometime before I die. But yeah. But I do the stuff according to my standard that I find fun. And when it's not fun, I put it down and I pick it up again when I think it might be fun. Because at the end of the day, I will never win the Magic the Gathering World Championship for the prize of $100,000. I will never win the Golden Demon Award for whatever their prize is. There are easier ways for me to make that kind of money. Ways that I'm sure I would enjoy a lot more. Okay, so I make my little figures. I go pew pew, bang bang, ar ar ar. I don't write songs, but I play a lot of covers in my room by myself. And if the day comes up that I'll be on stage again, I'm gonna be on stage and I'm gonna do the best that I can do to entertain. And hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, I promise that if I go on stage and do a show, one person will be entertained. Because that person will be me. I am going to entertain myself. But yeah, I mean, real talk. That's one of the biggest things out there. And that is one of the ways that I quiet these inner critics that come from external voices. I have a friend that just wrote a piece of fanfic that he was talking about registering or not registering. And I'm like, dude, register it. It doesn't cost a whole bunch. You can register that you wrote it, and what'll it hurt? And he's like, well, it's not that original. It's like this. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I talk to you about this stuff all the time. Now I'm going to hold on to this point with an iron fist because Iron Fist got made. I'm talking about the Netflix show. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to let y'all forget, because those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. We don't need another one. A lot of things that are out there that don't hit that perfect criteria from professionals is out there. But if we hold ourselves to a higher standard than the people that actually make stuff, we're never going to. Okay, do you honestly think that Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, the other Raimi brother whose name I keep forgetting, and Bruce Campbell we're trying to make John Carpenter's The Thing when they made Evil Dead? No. 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 And without Meet the Feebles, we would have never gotten the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And if you haven't seen Meet the Feebles, don't. But Dead Alive, without Dead Alive, without Dead Alive, there would have not been the Lord of the Rings movies. You know, same team, same creators, same stuff. And this is the stuff they were doing because they loved it. You know, they wanted to make a zombie movie with the main character killing a bunch of zombies with a lawnmower on a rope. And you know what? Cool. They did. And it was amazing. And yeah, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was a good it was a fun movie. And without it, there would have been no Lord of the Rings with Viggo Mortensen and Elijah Wood and all those guys. You know? What do you do to get past or to get past all that stuff that you've been told when it comes to the stuff that you like doing?
Well, I have to remember, first of all, is that I am my own worst critic. So whatever anybody else says could potentially influence me as an external voice, like you mentioned yourself. But the thing that keeps me going is knowing that I'm creative, and whatever I decide to make, I make for myself. And that's what it's been. You know, like I started sewing in high school, and, you know, other people would ask me to sew for them, but I didn't feel that my work was quality enough for me to sew for anyone else. And that was my own decision. You know, so I kept sewing things for myself, and eventually I got a little better here and there, but ultimately I still feel like I'm a novice sewer or seamstress. And I don't have any formal training under my belt. I don't have any background that says that I would be better at it than I was yesterday. But that didn't discourage me. I kept wanting to continue to sew things, whether it was a costume or if it was just an outfit I wanted to put together. I kept doing it because that's what made me happy, and it was therapeutic. And I just didn't want to stop doing it because, you know, as somebody said something mean about my outfit, that's their problem, not mine.
Yeah. And, you know, you bring that up, and I see that a lot in cosplay. You know,
there's a lot of elitist in cosplay alone.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of wannabe elitists in every creative thing. And I say wannabe because I don't count an elitist as an elitist. And yeah, I'm being gatekeepy about gatekeepers. What?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it seems my hypocrisy has no bounds. But no, the only way I see a person is qualified to gatekeep is if they do the work. You know, that's one of my really big. So when a person is like, well, you know, you messed up that seam, and that looks like that, and that looks like crap, and that looks like crap, and I'm like, do better. You do better. I like what I did. You don't like what I did. To quote the great Tim Curry, I didn't make him for you. You know, and if somebody wants to do better, I'm like, cool. And when I see that somebody does better, I go, dude, that is amazing. How did you do that? Show me. And if I don't do that, then I appreciate what's good. And that's really the whole thing. Now, tomorrow's episode is going to be a part 2. Okay? A part 2, bad habit. Because there was one really bad habit I have in critiquing on the other end of the... And I want to talk about why, 1, it's okay, but 2, it is a bad habit. You know what that is, Heather?
What is it?
I look for reasons to like things. I really do. Huh?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We need more people like you out in the world, Solar. I wish everyone was like, I want to look at the good. Where's the silver lining? Please.
You know, you say that, but you've never talked to me about the Academy Award winning Suicide Squad.
Uh, I haven't, because I like Suicide Squad as its own thing, and I'm not going to sit there and take the critiques and judgments of other people
Wait, you mean
into
the one with
account.
Will Smith, right?
Yes, the one with Will Smith.
Yeah, see, that's
I
the
haven't seen
Academy
the. I
Award
haven't
winning
seen.
one.
I haven't seen the new one, but I liked Suicide Squad, the first one, for what it was, and I didn't know much background in the comics about it. And that, you know what, I'm not disappointed in that. I'm actually glad that I watched the movie, because before I read the comic anyway, or tried to go look for the comic, only because I don't have any expectations of what the film should be.
Okay.
I don't have any expectations of what could have been, or why didn't they include so and so in this movie. Here he is in the first episode of the comic book. Why is it not? I didn't want to have any misconceptions or any kind of expectations of what it would be, and that's why I don't watch a lot of movie previews either, because it's just a bunch of spoilers to me, and I'm like, I don't need spoilers. Well, I want to come in with no expectation of what this film or show or whatever it is I'm gonna watch, because then I have less to critique.
Well, real talk, the award-winning Suicide Squad, and yes, I'm always gonna put respect on the name because it won an Academy Award for Best Makeup, so it did win an Oscar. Oscar award-winning film.
All right.
Yeah. However, it was not good. It was not a high-quality production. It was not a high-quality script. The acting in it was not great. Margot Robbie's tiny frame should not have been forced to carry that entire movie. Although I do really like the Enchantress stat. That's what I look like when I'm at a club, not when I'm spellcasting. Which is why I don't go to the club. You know, not even when I can get in. But yeah, I'm like, you know, I liked that movie. And people are like, what? Why did you like that movie? Because I paid too much money to not have liked it. I will find something. You know, I genuinely liked Man of Steel. Not a great movie. There's a lot of movies that a lot of great movies that I didn't like off the back. It needed time to marinate. Which is why it takes me so long to. But I look for reasons to like stuff. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
You know, you say there's nothing wrong with that. My YouTube analytics, they're like, there's a lot wrong with your positivity.
Well, then that's their problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, you know, it's my paycheck's problem as well. But
you have to bring the paycheck into this. Now, I'm not gonna say it, but I gotta say it, because all right, money isn't everything, but when it comes to being able to live and eat and provide for your basics, okay, you can sell out a little bit.
Okay, that's for tomorrow night's meeting down by the docks. So, yeah, Pier 81.
Should I bring the suitcase?
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, really, you know, so I find reasons to like things, but that can impede growth, because too much of anything can cause cancer. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. But we've been here for almost an hour and a half, and I really want to give it up to the chat as well, because you guys, Alisadra, Amalora, I think you're new, but thank you for being here. Major shout outs for for Tanja the Awesome. I want to say Tanya, but you know, that's the fact that I grew up in LA and I speak all right Spanglish. Carthulu, Commander Root, Drapsnats, Jubs Junk, hey, good to have you back. Kata or Kata. Mix Moozalot, still miss your face. Neon Arlecchino, dude, you're coming through for me, clutch. Roland, I'm so glad that you're here. Sad Strange Little Man, great to have you back. And again, Sofa King Super, the king of living room furniture. All right. Seriously, guys, I am really. What is this? What is this? Didn't. Oh yeah, right, Neon. I'm right there too, because the one of the biggest important things of the whole Suicide Squad book is that Captain Boomerang always lives. That's part of the joke, you know. Yeah, always. So yeah, I mean, it really is. It really is kind of a thing. But we can go on about that in a different show because I'm also still sick and kind of tired, and I still have to get down to the post. So, Heather, thank you for showing up today and joining me in this conversation.
Absolutely, always a pleasure to be a part of the show.
Yeah, thank you. And oh God, Roland, stop it! You're starting up one of these conversations that's gonna make me sit in the chair for the next hour. Because yeah, a crossover where Sam Jackson's Nick Fury and Viola Davis's Amanda Waller gets set up on a blind date would be a 30-minute TV show that I would watch so hard. Like real talk, like super real talk. There was a movie, I believe it was 1987. Starring Bruce Willis and Kim Basinger, back before Bruce Willis became an action star, called Blind Date, where Bruce Willis goes on a blind date with Kim Basinger. And if you guys don't know who Kim Basinger is, she was Vicky Vale in Batman, Eminem's mom in 8 Mile. Anyway, she was a looker back in the day. And the whole premise was they're going on a blind date, and she says, I don't drink alcohol, strange things happen. And he slips her alcohol, and the night goes from a nice blind date between 2 white people to Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. I am dead serious. It just goes bad. And that is really, yeah, seriously. Yes, the former Miss Eric Bahrain. I didn't know they got divorced. But yeah, so again, check it out on streaming services, but I could see that. I can see that movie being remade as a date between Amanda Waller and Nick Fury. Just, you know, bad shenanigans happen. You know, that would, you know, I gotta call my boy. I think we might be able to make this happen. We might be able to make this happen. You know.
You know, I would have never thought Amanda Waller and Nick Fury put those two together. Actually, that would be a pretty badass baby if it came out. You know,
that would be a horrifying baby. Okay, that is more horrifying than all of Lawrence Fishburne's daughters put together. Okay, and because well, one, Lawrence Fishburne and Gina Torres are 2 really attractive people who are very successful and very intelligent, which means all of their children are not just the winners of the genetic lottery, but the new engineers of it, and that's dangerous. But so imagine this with the world's most devious, dishonest super spy and the world's meanest deviant, dishonest super spy. Yeah, no, that kid would either be the most straight-laced, boring child on the face of the earth, or a supervillain. I mean, that's just what it would come down. It's just plain old supervillain. We're talking Doctor Doom, you know. So yeah,
you know, especially with all the context and the actual backgrounds that both Amanda Waller and Nick Fury have. Yeah, there's no way that kid's gonna turn out normal.
No. Matter of fact, I'm almost willing to bet that that's Deadpool's true origin. Yeah. Ooh. I'm saying it now. Yes, Deadpool is the son of Nick Fury and Amanda Waller. That's what would happen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I thought Marvel.
See, I finally broke Roland. Broke him.
When did DC decide to go and invade Marvel?
1996, and they came up with the Amalgam Universe, where Batman was fused with Wolverine, Captain America was fused with Superman, Tim Drake Robin was fused with Peter Parker Spider-Man. Oh no, sorry. He was fused with Jubilee. Clone Superboy was mixed with Peter Parker Spider-Man. And yeah. So there you go.
Thank you. I didn't know that information. That's
Hang
scary
on,
that
I
you
gotta
did.
pause for a minute. I gotta pause for a minute to bully myself. Real quick. Just gotta.
Why? Because you're that big of a nerd, or is it just
Yeah,
because?
that's kind of. Be right back. Nerd, nerd. Oh my God! No wonder you're single. Ah. Anyway, we're back, and so yeah. But with that, I do gotta say, if you guys have any, I don't even listen to Megan Thee Stallion. But send all emails to backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Twitter, also @backinthedeck. Instagram @backinthedeck. TikTok @bidp. You can that's BIDPY. You can also hit me up on Facebook by joining the group Deckers on the Book. It's an open group, but as soon as stuff gets stupid, as soon as we got people that would close a door or try and be a gatekeeper, I use the band hammer so hard that it almost bounces back and hits. Also, you guys can join our Discord, because we have a Discord for non-Patreon members. That's right, we have a Discord where we talk about stuff. Also, my question is, who is going to put up the invitation? Is it going to be Call of Fortnite or Neon Arlecchino? Who knows? And, don't want to do that. I'm going to go back. There. And if you guys find any value in what we are doing, feel free to drop us a line, drop us a donation, or join the Patreon and all that other stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel just as well. Neon Arlecchino just put up the Discord thing in the chat. So hit all of those things to say, hey, thanks, we like what you're doing. And if you ain't got no money, that's fine. Sit back, relax, do that whole thing. And subscribe with your Amazon Prime account. Because if you've got an Amazon Prime account, you get one subscription to a Twitch channel free. Every single month. And every time someone does that, then I do that little dance when they do it while I'm on camera. So there you go. Also share this stuff with your people and all of that jazz. Heather, how can they see you in places other than here?
You can catch me on Gaming Fix with 2 X's there at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's going to be on twitch.tv/gamingfix live. That's GAMINGFIXXILIVE. And you can also try and email me at mellowcello007@gmail.com.
Wait,
if you have any ideas.
Is there an E in Gaming Fix?
No, because there's. Did I say E?
No,
for
I was
live?
just I was just setting the link into the chat. Look at that.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
look at
okay.
that.
I can't see the chat, but yeah.
You were so funny.
So it's
all right.
So it's GAMN. Okay. But if you want to email me, feel free. You can email me at mellowcello@gmail.com, or you can join me on my Facebook page at mellowcello007's Hangout on Facebook. And other than that, I hope you've enjoyed the show with myself today, and I'm going to bring it back to you, Solar.
All right. And yes, it's back to me, but I'm going to bring it to you. That's right. All of you guys out there, thank you so much for bearing with me. Now that I'm done being the Easter Bunny and having a bunch of rich parents say, take my baby, we're back and on our regular schedule, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Although, wow, there's a lot of people out here in SoCal getting sick, and I get it. There's a bug going around. It's spring. Let's call it spring fever. He's got that spring fever. She's got that spring fever. Okay. And again,
I thought spring fever was code for loving. I thought spring fever was code for loving or spring cleaning.
I'm gonna say being sick, because if it's code for anything else, that ain't happening over here. So yeah, that's the whole thing. So I am going to climb under my blankets with a cup of coffee and my big barrel of donuts that I got from the grocery store, and then go for pretty much the rest of the day. Spring fever or variant? No, not a variant. Okay, I've had the cotton swab up my nose. I'm good on that. It was just a head cold. So with that, I gotta say thank you guys for being here. And if anybody tells you that you can't like what you like because of the circumstances of your birth, race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, gender identity, neurodiversity, or your budget, because we all know that the trailer park ain't never too far from the hood, then you can tell those people, take those cards, put them back in the deck. This is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, along with Mellow Cello Heather.
Yep, that's me.
Saying thank you guys, and we will see you next time on the dark side of the room.